Okay, so good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to ACE Africa Remote Job Training. My name is Awange Agena. I am the founder and lead trainer at ACE Africa Tech Support Skills Limited. For those of you that have been paying attention to the group, I have posted the website there a couple of times, and I also posted my socials. And I believe that by now, everybody must have looked me up on my various platforms, and you know exactly who I am and what I do. So there's no doubt in your mind as to what exactly this training is all about, right? So my name is Awange again. Currently, I am an operations manager and a customer support expert. Now, from time to time, I do admin roles and I do other general virtual assistant roles as well for those kind of jobs that are not serious. Like sometimes I take up jobs just because I want a job that can fund my wardrobe, or I want a job that can fund my hair or whatever. So I take up those kind of small general virtual assistant roles. Okay. But for now, I am majorly in operations and customer support. Can everybody hear me right?
Yes.
Everybody's still with me. Okay, perfect. Now, I also work with four companies at the moment. I work with Feminify, which is a company in Canada, as a customer and operations support. I also work with Talking Sleep Inc., which is a company in US, and I work there as a client support and operational systems development. I work with Spotworks. Spotworks is in UK as an executive assistant for senior management teams. What that simply means is that I work directly with the founders to aid them in whatever they need me to do. And we are going to talk about that in details as we progress in the course of this training. I also work again with Q Pilots. Q Pilots is a company, is a subsidiary company under, there are four companies actually. Q Pilot is one of the companies, and that Q Pilot is in US, and I work as a general virtual assistant again for the founder. So I work directly with the founder of Q Pilot, which is David Bradley. I'm giving all details so that there's no doubt as to who I am and what I do. Now, other than this, I am also the founder and lead trainer at ACE Africa Tech Support Skills Limited. That is the full name, by the way. Now, I feel like whenever I talk about remote work, a lot of people are they would usually ask me if, sorry, can you guys still see my screen?
Yes,
What are you seeing on my screen at the moment, just to be sure?
my story.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was saying that anytime I talk about remote work, a lot of people feel like I've always had it easy. Somebody asked me if my success in remote work was a one-shot deal, and it was really funny because let me put it this way: using the exact same techniques I teach, I think that I have been able to make, not to boast, but I've been able to make thousands of dollars, and but it wasn't always that easy. There were periods of serious depressions. There were periods where I felt like ending my life. You know, I don't like talking about this part of my story, but for you to understand the journey so far, I think it's important I talk about it. So there were periods where I felt like ending my life, and there were periods where I felt like my life was not going to amount to anything and my life didn't have meaning. So I didn't just dabble into remote work, or it didn't just fall on my lap like that without, passing through a process, right? So I studied accounting. If you've been following me, I share this story very often. I studied accounting, and when I came out, the first job I did here in Abuja was an accounting job. And that job was in Asokoro. If you're in Abuja, you know Asokoro. Now, I was supposed to be working as an accountant, but I discovered that while I was employed as an accountant, I was also doing, because the man had a pharmacy, or has a pharmacy rather, because I believe he's still in operation. So he has a pharmacy, he has a restaurant, he has a hotel. So I was supposed to be the accountant at the hotel, but then I found myself sometimes selling medications at the counter, That means I will do accounting work at the hotel, and then I'll go over to the pharmacy to go and sell medication to people and do accounting work there as well. And then sometimes I'll also find myself in the restaurant selling food for 50,000 naira. I was being paid 50,000 naira. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, this was 2016 or so. No, this was not 2016. This was around 2018, 2019, thereabout. Now, I think I wouldn't have really had a problem because it was my first job and I was still learning, and there was actually nothing to learn anyway. So, but I think what made it worse or what made the experience very traumatizing is the fact that we were always being talked down on. Like it was a very, I don't want to use toxic environment, because if I say it was a toxic environment, I'll be putting it mildly. It was a very, very bad environment that impacted on my mental health. And somebody is writing on my screen. Somebody is writing on my screen. Is it Alcatel? You're writing something on my screen. I need to disable that function. I need to disable. Do not click on the annotate button. That button that looks like a pen. If you guys are seeing it on your screen, do not click on it. If you click on it, you're going to be writing jargons on my screen and it's going to affect this training, okay? So do not click on it. All right. So now it was a very toxic environment. He was always talking down on us, always telling us how we should be happy that we have a job that is paying us. I was paid, I think the highest person in that company was paid about 150,000. That was what the highest person was being paid. And out of this 50,000 that I was paid, he would usually take 10% for himself, which he called debit. Now, I really, really do not know what debit means. None of us knew what debit was. He was taking this 10% across everybody's salary. So it was not just me, right? So he would take this 10% at the end of every month and keep for himself. He said he was helping us save, but we knew that he was not helping us save. It was just a way of him to have something over you, so that if you wake up tomorrow and say, oh, this environment is toxic or it's too toxic for me and I want to go, you will now remember that he has money, he has your money with him. Now, this thing I'm saying, I'm just saying it casually, but it's a very serious thing because it kept some people in that company for a long time. Some people were there, and the amount that the man had on him were up to 500,000 plus. So imagine that you've been dedicating so much time and energy in a company for years, and this man has 500,000 plus of your salary that he would not release if you wake up and decide to leave. That is the kind of bondage we're in. Now, other than that, we would not fail to remind each and everybody how useless everybody was and how he was doing everybody a favor by paying them salary. The gist is plenty. The gist is just plenty. I'm just trying to give you an idea how toxic the environment was. So if you're not careful, you will gradually start believing that you're actually not going to amount to anything. And to be very honest, I think at some point I actually started believing that I was not going to amount to anything. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I actually
Yes.
started believing that I was not going to amount to anything. I just honestly felt that maybe certain a certain kind of life was not for me. I believed wholeheartedly that, that maybe some people are meant to just be small in life and just struggle through life, and why other people are meant for big things. That is the kind of damage that kind of environment was doing to me, because those were the things that he was constantly saying to us. And before I knew it, whether you realize it or not, we were already internalizing it, right? Now, I worked in that job for 1 year. After 1 year, a series of things happened actually that I don't want to go into them because we just have 1 hour in this meeting. So I don't want to talk so much. Now, during that 1 year, so many things happened. And then one day I woke up, I went to work, and he woke up on a bad side. And usually, if he wakes up on a bad side, just know that the first person he sees that day, or anybody he sees that day, is going to get his hot. He will tell you all manner of things and he will insult you in front of everybody, even the cleaners and the junior staff. And so nobody had respect in the eyes of anybody. If he just sees you, he will just start insulting you and calling you names. So that day was one of those days. He saw me, started insulting me, and he now told me that I was fired. Now, telling us that we're fired was not a new thing. It was something that he always said, right? So we didn't used to take it serious. But that day, I was so bitter in my spirit, and I just told myself that I was not going to take it. So when he told me I was fired, I just went in, carried my bag. It was around 2 p.m. I can remember correctly, it was around 2 p.m. I went in, carried my bag, and went home. Everybody was shocked because how dare I carry my bag and go home when Oga insults me? We used to call him Oga. So how dare I carry my bag and go home when I'm being insulted? It was a normal thing. We're just supposed to cry. If you must cry, cry. Wipe your eyes, come back and resume your job. Nobody has ever had the liver to carry their bag and go home in that kind of situation, but I did. Everybody was calling me that where am I? That I should know that Oga does not mean it. It's just one of those days. I should just come back, that there is no job out there. I'm going to suffer all manner of things. I didn't answer them. The whole day, I even switched off my phone because I was so angry and I cried. I just went home to go and sleep. The next day, they were still calling me. And there's this Paco phone, this touchlight phone. If you guys can remember that Nokia touchlight phone, that was the office phone they gave me because I was the accountant now. So they had to be calling me all the time. And sometimes they'll give me physical cash from the hotel to take to UBA in Asokoro. The hotel was in Nyanya. So I'll take the physical cash from Nyanya to Asokoro to go and deposit in UBA. So they gave me that phone so that they can be calling me to know if I'm not running away with the money, stuff like that. So the next day, I carried that Paco phone, went to the hotel reception, dropped it at the reception, and walked out. And that was the end of my accounting job. I did not have any plan B. There was nothing that I could do. I didn't have any uncle. I didn't have anybody to call to help me. I had to go back to my family house at Ado to go and stay without any plan at all. I could not even face my parents to tell them that I had quit my job. And that is where the period of depression started. I don't want to start if you are here and you've ever gone through, you will just wake up in the night and be palpitating. Your heart will just be beating fast. You will just be sweating. You feel like I cannot explain that feeling. It's only somebody who has experienced it that will know what I'm talking about. People will be sleeping, I will not be sleeping. Sometimes from sleep, I'll just wake up, my heart will be beating, I'll be sweating. It will be like I'm dying. Like life just became so meaningless. I was praying so hard, I was not seeing any results. It's like it was now like the more I prayed, the worse things got. It was so terrible for me. And then somebody that I really looked up to, because she was a lecturer at that point in one of the universities in the East. So she used to call me to, talk to me, just encourage me. But I didn't realize that all that calling and encouraging was for her to, gradually come into my life as a good person and present herself as somebody with good plans because she wanted me to join network marketing under her. You know how network marketing works now. You have to be nice to people, just pretend that you're a good person so that they'll believe your story and believe what you're doing and join you. So I really believe that she had good intentions when she told me about network marketing. And she said it was going to change my life, that she knows I'm somebody that is driven, I'm somebody that is ambitious, and this network marketing business has changed her life and is going to change my life. That's why I entered network marketing. I begin the waka in this Abuja, waka, waka, waka. Share flyer. There's nothing I did not do. Like area one, Gariki Secretariat, I was there. For those of you, it's only those of you that are in Abuja that will know all these places. I was in all these places, walking like somebody who had cost me. In fact, there was a particular evening, because I used to target evenings, afternoons, and early mornings to share flyer at the secretariat. So there was this evening I was sharing flyer at the secretariat, and one man, they were just passing, one man and his friend were just discussing, passing, and they're like, see this fine girl. If not that Nigeria is hard, what will make her to just be looking homeless and like this? I was in my head, I was like, these people don't even know what they're talking about. They're the ones that don't have ambition. I'm the one that has ambition. By the time this network marketing changes my life, Everybody will know how far. All my enemies, I will laugh at them. All the people laughing at me and calling me names, I'll be the one to laugh at them. That's what I used to be telling myself. And of course, I used to be reading books to ginger me because, of course, I'm a smart lady, I'm intelligent. There's no way I'll enter network marketing and not succeed. That's why I do network marketing for, I think I did network marketing for over 2 years. Nothing sure. Now, don't get me wrong, right? There were periods in network marketing where I made small money. There were other periods where I did not make, there were months that I did not even see 50K to my name. There were months that I could manage to make like 100K and all of that. Sometimes I'll go 5 months without seeing anything in the business. And I just knew that, oh, I cannot, this is not what I was promised. And it does not matter how long I continue to do this, it will not give me the life I wanted. And then back to depression. Because it was almost like somebody placed a cost on me and nothing seemed to be working for me, no matter how hard I tried. And let me tell you, I really, really tried all my best in that network marketing. My best did not work for me. It didn't work. So I went into depression, and one of my friends said, okay, why don't you try remote work? I mean, you have experience, like in terms of marketing and all of that. You already gathered all those experiences in network marketing. Maybe you should try to see if you can get a remote job. I begin to take courses. There is no YouTube video that I do not watch. There is no, I even took courses on Udemy and so many other platforms. But it was like there was something that I was not getting right. Because even though I was taking these courses, it's like they could not, because most of these courses are pre-recorded courses. You do not have the opportunity to ask the presenter one-on-one questions that are peculiar to your needs or peculiar to your environment or peculiar to your race, or maybe you're a Nigerian, for instance, the Nigerian market is different, our experiences are different. There was no way for me to ask them this kind of questions. And you're going to be dealing with international brands, international organizations, companies in the US, UK. So how will I know how to present myself as a Nigerian? What kind of cover letter or proposal will I write as a Nigerian or as a Black person that will get me that position? I didn't have all of those opportunities because these were recorded courses and there was no one-on-one interaction, and I couldn't air out all this my concerns and all the places I was having issues in. I couldn't talk to anybody. So I think I spent more than 1 year taking virtual assistant training, and I did not get a remote job. Then I say I applied for over 100 jobs. That's why I always laugh when somebody says, oh, I've gotten 10 rejection, I've gotten 20 rejection. I don't want to do again. Let me just go back and focus on what I was doing. I say I got 100, over 100 rejections before I got my first yes. The woman that eventually decided to take a chance on me, she offered me $5 per hour, and I was working for her for only 20 hours in a week. What that means is that I was not even making up to $1,000 at the end of every month. And let me even confess to you people, the reason why she didn't initially decide to take a chance on me, she hired me and one South African lady like that, because the way I pushed for that job, is as if my life depended on it. And if she did not give me that job, I was going to die. So she saw the desperation. She saw how during the interview, I was asking her questions about her business. I was not asking her questions it was not about me. I focused solely on her business. To be honest, I didn't know how I was going to help her in her business, but that view, that guts, that self-confidence that I got from network marketing, I brought that self-confidence into the interview, and I did the interview as if she didn't give me the job, I was going to die. So she just said, oh, okay, let her just take me and the South African lady so that after 1 week or maybe after 2 weeks, she just let me go. And then she'll continue working with the South African lady, because I had looked at the South African lady's portfolio. I looked at her upper portfolio. I looked at her LinkedIn portfolio, and this lady was good. This lady had done remote work for years. So she was already a pro. Meanwhile, I had not done any type of remote work in my life before. So I'm sure she just pitied me because she wanted to just give me the offer letter so that after 1 week, she would just, And then I proved myself within that 1 week. On Monday, there's nothing I didn't do in that 1 week. At the end of the day, guess what? She had to let the South African lady go and she retained me. I'm still working with that lady up till today, over 3 years now. So that was how I got my first remote job. And then when I started working with the white people, I realized that all those years that I spent searching for remote work, there was something that I was not doing right. But there was nobody to tell me that this is not what you're not doing right because I didn't have mentorship. I didn't have one-on-one mentorship. I didn't have somebody to go to and say, oh, tell me, oh, what will I do? Or how do I go about this situation? Or what will I say in this kind of situation? There was nobody like that in my life. I had to learn everything by experience. I lost some jobs along the way. I got some jobs along the way. But every job that I got, I had to learn everything step by step. And that is the whole essence of this ACE Africa training. Now, when I started ACE Africa, the main reason for ACE Africa was to help women because I've seen a lot of women in my family that were dependents. They didn't have financial dependence and they went through a lot. I've seen women in my family training children alone, and they didn't even have the kind of financial independence to train those children. So I started remote work solely for women. I've also seen women in my family that were doing well in terms of work and everything. And then they got pregnant, took maternity leave, and that was all. They could not go back to their jobs. So I wanted to be able to help women so that they will have something to do at home. Even if you're a stay-at-home wife, you can do remote work and take care of yourself and take care of your children. Even if you are working, you can, always, just to help women. But along the way, it started feeling like, oh, I was being biased and I decided to make it all inclusive. That means men were now welcomed in the training as well. So that is how ACE Africa started, and that is why we are here today. Okay. Now, the reason some of you are where you are is because your brain or our brain, I was there before. So let me say, our brain has been wired to always look for free things. Now, I think that one of the reasons why it took me so long to get my first remote work is because I was looking for free things that would not cost me money. Remember, I didn't have money. So I was only looking for free videos that would not cost me money. So I didn't even invest in mentorship or one-on-one training that would give me that support that I needed. Another thing is that our brain has been wired to, some of us are just comfortable in the situations that we're in. You're making 100,000, you're making 150,000. And because of the environment you're currently in, you feel like that is the best that you can do because you can't see beyond that environment. You can't see beyond that office. And that's why some people stay on a job for 5 years, 10 years. I have a friend, I'm sorry to say this, but I have a friend that is the HR. He's currently the HR in what is this hotel? It was formerly Sheraton, and then it's now Abuja Continental. That guy has been working with Sheraton Hotel for close to 10 years now, and his salary is just about 350,000 naira. He took this training, but he didn't take the training serious because he got hurt at some point. So of course, he has a lot going on for him at his workplace. So he just, focused on that. And he's earning 350,000 naira for working there close to 10 years. I cannot even believe it when I think about it. So some of us have gotten so comfortable with our environment that we cannot see that somebody can comfortably sit down in the comfort of their home and make 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, because in our heads, the only people that make that kind of money are people that work with oil and gas and people that work with or people that are stealing government money. You cannot see yourself earning that money because your environment has restricted your thinking. The environment has restricted your belief. The environment has restricted how far you can see. All right. So you're not tired enough. You are not willing to do whatever it takes to get out of that. And then again, the problem is that some people think prayers alone will bring a miracle without them really striving for it. And it just reminds me of during that process that I was looking for remote work, I was actually I was dating that time. My now husband, we're still dating that time. So he wanted me to, there was one opening in NLNG, that is Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas. And he really wanted me to apply for the role. Usually, I don't believe in stuff like that because I don't believe that those kind of opportunities can come to a common person. People at the top already know the people they want to place in those kind of positions. So I really did not believe in it. But because he was working with NNPC, he really believed that I could get into NLNG. So he started making me to see that again, the salary that time, I think NLNG was offering 600K per month. Remember, I had been working a job of 50,000 hours. So 600K was like my own heaven. So I applied for the job. I started imagining working for LLNG. I started seeing myself. I went to their website. I went to their pages. I went to YouTube to watch all the videos, to check the environment. I started imagining myself working there. So that imagination now spurred me on to start fasting and pray. I remember that year's Shiloh. When people say people go to Shiloh to pray for husband, I just they laugh. I say, you never see waiting for you. I said that year's Shiloh, I rolled on the ground. I cried. There's one of my jotter that is currently here. If I open that jotter, you will see stains of teardrops. Like the teardrops have stained the jotter from cover to cover. That's to tell you how much I was praying and how much I was crying for that job to come. Because that was my only way out of that depression that I was facing at that time. Guess what? They did not even call me for interview. I thought I thought I was going to kill myself. I cried like no man's business. That job did not come. When I look back now, I'm asking myself, waiting be 600,000 when they make me cry that time, like say, waiting be 600K. But I think that most times we don't realize where God is taking us to. And even if God is taking you to a place, you are not going to get there if you don't strive enough to be there. Your prayers alone, your fasting alone is not going to get you there. You need to strive. You need to decide that you are tired of where you are. We have over 30 people in this meeting currently, and we have over 300 people on the group. Now, the people listening to me right now, there are people listening to me right now, right? But not everybody's life is going to change at the end of this training. Not everyone is going to decide to make a change or take a step. You could have two people sitting side by side in exactly the same room, learning exactly the same principles and strategies, but only one person will take the tools and skyrocket to success. What do you think happens to the other person? Well, the answer is not much. They just go back to doing the same thing they've been doing and hoping that one day things will change. Now, the truth is that if you want to move to a higher level of life, you need to let go of your old ways of thinking. You need to let go of that small, let me just continue to manage this one, or the people in my environment are okay with this, or oh, I'm the one that is earning 150,000 in my workplace. Other people are earning 50,000. I'm the orga there. So I'm okay after I'm better than other people. And then some of us, we hear statement like, you should thank God that you even have a job. Other people do not have a job. So we use all those kind of mediocre reasoning and mediocre thinking to keep ourselves in one place when we can be far, far better, you know. So if you're listening to me in this meeting, I want you to start changing that mindset. Now, what will you learn from this training? You're going to learn the difference between remote work and virtual assistants. I hope you guys are still seeing my screen. You're going to learn the difference between remote work and virtual assistant because a lot of us mistake that. Now, you're also going to learn how to get remote jobs, right? And you're going to learn so much more. Now, what is the difference between remote work and virtual assistants? Remote work is a broad category of work performed outside a traditional office. What that means is that if you're working for any company abroad, whether the company is in the UK, US, Canada, or wherever, you're working for them and you are in Nigeria, that means you're doing a remote work. It does not matter the kind of role you are doing, whether it's customer success or operations or technical support or IT support or whatever. Everything is categorized as remote work. While virtual assistance is a specific type of service provided by an independent contractor to clients for admin or other tasks. Are you guys getting now? So as a remote worker, a company may decide to employ you as a full-time staff. So you have benefits, you have various benefits like health benefits, vacation benefits, travel benefits, and all of that, right? But as a virtual assistant, you may not be a full-time staff of the company. They just employ